Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this video we're going to make a simple plugin together and in Screen. So let's just start off by creating a new base plate and an empty base plate. And here I have the new output. I did file, I got into file and then beta futures, and I selected expressive output window and I clicked save. So yeah, and here I have the properties window and the explorer window, which you can find in the view tab. You can just toggle between them and you can move them whatever you want, but in this case I have them right here, for example. Okay, so since I'm going to be just scripting for the most of the time in this video, I'm just going to merge my explorer and properties tab, and I'll collapse this toolbox tab because I don't need it, at least for this video. So let's start off. So first of all, what this plugin that I'm going to make, what it's going to do. Well, the plugin is going to be really simple. It's just a toolbox, like a widget, something like this, right? Which you can move like that, something like a window in Roblox Studio, which, for example, you can tap in some text, right? Just as notes, and then you can just zoom in into it or zoom out for tutorial videos, for example. So it's really simple. There's nothing really big about it, but it sounds really cool. I mean, it's simple anyway. Now let's just go. First of all, we'll make maybe a GUI for it. So let's make it. So screen GUI, right? And I'll go into a frame. I'll get a frame, and I'll do something like, I'll come down into size right here, and I'll just extend that. And in the x-axis I'll extend it, and the y-axis too. So I'll come to the scale here. In both the x-axis and the y-axis, I'm going to set it to 1. So it's 100% in the width, or in this case it's the x, and 100% in the y-axis, which is 1 in the scale. So pretty much the size of a UI element is divided into 4 elements, or 4 values, okay? And well, it's divided for 2 values, but every value of those 2 values, it's divided by 2 again. So it's 4 values, as you see right here. So the x and the y. So the x is the horizontal axis and the y is the vertical axis, right? So now, and inside every axis we have the scale and the offset, right? So the scale is a percentage from the screen, right? So when you actually resize the window, it will resize with it. So it's good to use the scale because it respects the size of the screen of the user, because the player that are playing our game or using our plugin or anything like that, yeah, everyone have a different kind of screen resolution, especially in game where someone can have a mobile and someone can have a big 4K screen. But anyway, let's just go into it. So in the offset, which is in the pixel, how much pixels. So this doesn't respect the size of the monitor, but yeah. So I'll just set the offset into 0 because I want 100% of the screen, not 100% plus 100 pixels. So I'll just do 0 in the offset and 1 in the scale. So it takes all the screen, which is 100%, 100%. Anyway, now let's go into the Explorer. So I want some kind of another color. What I'm going to do actually, instead of picking up, well, there's 2 things that we can do. We can change, or we can set some kind of colors, or we can use just a mono colors, like, I'm not sure what they call it, but it's gray, black, white, some kind of things like that. It's a shade of black. So yeah, it's much better to not get it wrong in the UI design. So I'm just going to go with black, and like the shades of black in this tutorial. But later on, or let me show you right now actually, just if you want to get some good colors that match up together, you can go to colors.co and generate the colors that you want, and it will fit well with the color theory. Because if you set some random colors without like respecting the color theory, like your UI will look really bad. So we can start the generator right here. Okay, let's wait a little bit, and here we go. First of all, it generates for you some colors. As you see, it's already generated for me these colors. Now you can actually press space and it will generate another set of colors and stuff like that, which is really cool. Okay, so for the simplicity of this tutorial, I won't go with the colors like that. I'm just going to go with white and black and shades of it. So yeah, and just away from here, and we have our frame. And because this is so shiny on the eyes, I really like the black. And if I want it to fit with this, I mean, I can just pick up the color from here or from here, for example. Okay, So for example, let's pick the color from here, right? Okay, so yeah, it's 53, 53, 53, good. So yeah, now we have our background, and let's put there, we are going to have two things. First of all, I'm going to have the toolbar at the top, and the text box that you're going to like type in the text that you want. Okay, so let's put first of all another frame inside of this frame. Okay, so this is it, and I'll pick up a color for it, right? And I'll just pick my background color like that, and I'm going to make it even lighter or darker, but just make sure to be consistent with your colors. Okay, what I mean by consistent, so if you want to be lighter, the elements in the foreground should be lighter, and the elements in the background should be darker, like any one of those, or the opposite, but not like just a chaos of colors. So anyway, I just made it a little bit lighter, which I think looks good. Maybe maybe darker. Okay, not bad. So let's get the size. Here I'll do the same thing. I want to scale it in the x-axis 100%, so I'll go 1 in the x-axis in the scale, and I'll make sure to set the offset to 0, right? And here in the y-axis, I'm going to set it just 100. I'm just going to use the offset, which is pixels. So I'll go with 40 pixels, I think, maybe, or so. Yeah, that looks not bad. Good enough. And I don't think I want any border. It just makes it look smooth, really good. All right, here we are. That really looks cool though. And now I'll just call this main, for example. And this frame I'll call it toolbox maybe, or toolbar. You can call it whichever you want, but this looks good for me. Anyway, inside this toolbar I'll have two buttons for now. So let's just get it in. Text button. One for the zoom in and one for zoom out for the text. That's it. So yeah, I'll want to have it in a like square kind of fashion. So actually I'll use a list, a UI list layout. What this will do is it will take all the elements inside of this and it will arrange it in a list. But as you see right now, it's arranging it in the wrong direction. I want it to do it like that, but it's doing it like this. So that's bad. So let's go into the UI list layout and let's go into the properties tab, right? And we have a bunch of elements or properties right here. First of all, there's the fill direction. And I think this is what we need right here. So it's set to vertical, so as you see, it's arranging it in a vertical fashion or vertical fashion. So let's go into horizontal fashion, and here we go. This looks much more interesting, but still there is some stuff that we need to fix. So we have horizontal alignment. So which place you want the list to start. So in this case it's to the left. If you do the center, you can do it. You can do the right, and for me I think the left is good. So sort order, there's layout order and name. Yeah, so vertical alignment, right? So that doesn't really, okay, well, you can do center and it's going to be centered in the vertical axis. So that's what I need actually. The padding, we can do 5 pixels, right? That doesn't look bad, I think. Or well, in this case I'm not going to use UI list layout, but I like to show it for you guys here, just to know. But since I'm just going to have 2 buttons, it doesn't really like fit to me to use list layouts or layouts in general, because I want full control over this. So I'm just going to use text button, right? I'm going to call this zoom in, and I'm going to make it, since the toolbar is 40 pixels in the height, I'm going to go with like 35, I think, or 30. Well, let's see. In the scale, in the offset, let's go with 30, I think. Okay, that doesn't look bad at all. I'm just going to offset it by 5 pixels in the top and in the left, right? Because it's 30 pixels and it's 30 pixels wide and in the height, and the toolbar is 40 pixels wide, or in the height, I mean. So there is a difference of 10 pixels, which is here. This is 10 pixels. Well, wait a second. So this is a 10 pixels right here, as you see. Now what I should do is give this button 5 pixels here and 5 pixels here. So what I should do is just add in 5 pixels there and 5 pixels there. So I'll set it right in the center. Okay, so let's just go now into the position actually, and it's the same thing. It has 4 values, which is in the same philosophy or design philosophy. So let's just go offset 5 pixels in the x-axis. So it's going to go 5 pixels in the x-axis and 5 pixels in the y-axis. So it's going to go down 5 pixels right here. And now it looks much more better. Okay, so the text, I'm going to go with the A, a big A, for example. And I'm going to go with, first of all, let's just change the color because it looks so bad in that really big white, because it takes so much, like a lot of attention from the user. It just looks really bad. So we have 2 things. We can make it darker or lighter. I think lighter will fit. So, and I'll make the color of the text color tree white, not that white, but yeah. So I think this is good, right? So this is zoom in and zoom out. Okay, now I think I'll change the font, I guess, because maybe it looks bad. Arcade. So there is that thing that's really like annoying us actually. So I have a plugin, I think, for it, which will do the thing for us. Well, let me see if I can find it here. Just hang with me here. Here it is, UI Editor Toggle plugin by Build Thomas. So I'll just activate it. And when you activate it and you do like this, instead of actually hiding the UI, it's actually just hide that selection box. So yeah, thanks for him for making this plugin. And yeah, let's just go with our thing. So as you see, this is Antic, this is Arcade. So I'm just using my mouse wheel to scroll. Okay, and here is the oldie. Because Humboldt looks really cool, I guess. Legacy. This is Legacy. Oh. Okay, source songs bold. I think RL will do just fine. Okay, so I'll make this like 25, maybe 20, maybe 25 is okay. Okay, so let's just I did Control C, and now I do Control Shift V to paste into this, or you can do right click and then do paste into. And here we go. I just duplicated this, or you can do another thing, is just do Control D to duplicate it without having to copy and paste. Okay, I'll make this zoom out. Okay, and I'll just make this text much smaller, like 15, I guess. That doesn't look bad. And now I just need to position this button. So what I need to position it in, instead of offsetting it by, well, where it is, offsetting it by 5, I need to add 30, which is the size of the other button, and another 5. So as you see, if I got 35, which is the offset of the first button plus its size, now I'm having it like this. Okay, so as you see, but if I want to have some offset between that stuff, I just need to add another 5 pixels or whatever I need to do. So let's just go with that. Okay, offset. Let's just add it here. I think 40. Okay, now let's see. So that doesn't look that great, but it's okay. I think it's fine. Maybe. So let's just go with this. Okay. That does look cool, actually. So yeah, now let's just place in the main frame a text box. Right, here we go. And we just call this the or maybe let's just leave it text box anyway. I don't know what to call it, so yeah. Okay, now what I want to do with this is actually to scale it up on all of this, like, and offset it by 5 pixels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here into the scale, right, in this size, and I'm going to do 1. But instead of taking it the screen, right, I want just to take all the screen minus some offset, okay? So to leave room a little bit from the screen, just like this. So I'm just going to do in the offset minus 10, for example, and I'm going to offset it by 5 pixels in the position, in the x-axis, of course. And here we go, we have a little bit of offset right there, which looks really cool. Okay, now as we know, our toolbar is 40 pixels in the height. So what I can do is position it in the y-axis by 40 pixels, and then add some offset to it, which is 5 in this case. Okay, which means 45 pixels. Okay, and as you see, here we go. That's cool. Now in the size of the y-axis, instead of 50 pixels, I'm going to go with the scale. I'm going to go with 1, and I'm going to do minus 40, which is the size or the height of the toolbar, and minus this offset that we have here, which is 5 pixels, which is 45 pixels, minus 5 pixels that we don't want right here in the bottom, which is 50 pixels. And here we go, we got it. And now, because this is really bright, let's just take our color, right, and let's just make it a little bit more lighter. Cool. And let's do in the text, well, I want the text to be white, I guess. So what I'm doing, so this is the placeholder. No, I want the text color tree. Okay, and here we go. And yeah, text size, let's go with, I think, 60 pixels as the default, I mean. So this is the default for most of the people right there. So anyway, text size is 16, and where it's going to start, I want it to start in the left and in the top, just like that. That's really looks cool. And I don't want any text on it. And here, placeholder text, type no. Or, well, let's think about something. Type something funny. I'm not sure what to do, but yeah, anything. Anyway, so this is just a placeholder. Placeholder will remove itself when the player start, or the user of this plugin start to type there. Okay, that looks cool. So anyway, that really looks so good. And the text box, do I want any border? I think there is no need for a border, but let's just see how it looks. I think it looks much better. I'm not sure, but yeah, just looks so smooth. But IDK, that's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want with your design. And of course, this plugin, I think I will leave the link for it in the description if you want to install it and use it, and also the source code so you can see everything that I made it with. So anyway, let's just finish this up first. Okay, good. Now we have the GUI set up and we're good to go. Now what I'll do is start the script of our plugin. Now, in anywhere, you can just create a folder first of all, which is going to hold your plugin's contents. So, for example, what we're going to call Notes plugin, for example. Okay. And what I'm going to do is go and place a script right there. This is going to be my main script. You don't have to call it anything actually, but I'm just going to call it main. And I'm going to get this screen GUI plugin, and I'm going to put it inside this folder. Okay, good stuff. Really like this. Okay, so Notes plugin, and here we have a thing and the screen GUI. For example, let's call it plugin GUI, I guess, or Notes GUI, for example. Okay, and let me just zoom this in using Control and the mouse wheel, and so you can see everything up right there. Cool. Now, I need, first of all, before actually creating my plugin, so the first step you should do is create a tooltip. I think that's what it's called, or a toolbar. No, a toolbar, not a tooltip. Well, a toolbar, and you can call it something. For example, this is a toolbar. It's called Codes Otaku, right? And it holds a bunch of buttons, which is in this case just one button. And here I have Moon Animator. For example, this is a toolbar called Moon Animator, and it holds these 4 buttons. Okay, so let's make our toolbar, and inside of it, we're going to make our button that it's going to be toggled to toggle the plugin up so it can run. Okay, great. So now local toolbar equal to plugin I think CreateToolbar, but I need to check the documentation for sure. And this is a good opportunity to tell you that we don't actually know everything, so most of our times is just checking the documentation and just knowing how to use the documentation to our advantage. So anyway, let's just go and do it right now, because why not? And I didn't actually make any plugin for a long time right now because I was studying and doing some other stuff, but yeah, let's just say plugin Roblox. And this was my best time to make you a video, so I didn't hesitate to take this time to my advantage. And yeah, plugin Roblox, documentation, or should I say API. Okay, and let's just get here and let's see what we have here. So the first function that I think I need is CreateToolbar, and as you see, it's right, CreateToolbar, and you give it a string, which is the name, and it's going to return for you a new plugin toolbar with the given name. Okay, good. So CreateToolbar, so local toolbar equal to plugin get CreateToolbar, and I want to call it, for example, Notes plugin or suit, or well, tutorial suit, for example. Okay, good. Now local. Now inside this toolbar instance that it's going to be returned by this function, inside of it there is a function called CreateButton, I think. Now if I've gone into plugin toolbar here, right, and if I've gone to functions, there is a function called CreateButton, okay, and it needs a button ID, a tooltip, an icon name, and a text. Okay, so let's create a button. So first of all, plugin button, for example, or let's say toolbar button equal to plugin, or well, why not go with notes, because I may have a lot of buttons, so just go with notes button equal to toolbar create button. Okay, and we have a button ID. We should give it a button ID for it. Well, let's just go with notes, for example. So this is just should be a unique ID from all of the other buttons IDs. And the tooltip is, if you gone here into the plugins tab and you hovered over a button, you see a tooltip. So for example here, listen, open scripts easily. Here in the build, insert rigs to animate, hide, show the localization tools view, and stuff like that. Okay, so notes, and here we have the tooltip. Now the tooltip, let's go with type some notes, pretty easily. Type some notes. Okay, what else? You need the icon name. The icon name. Okay, here you need the ID of the icon, but I don't have any icon currently, I think. But well, let's just go into the toolbox actually. Let's go into the images and let's go call like note or type or write or something like that. Okay, type for example, or write icon for example. Well, I think we have this right here. Well, what we can do actually is I have a plugin actually. Well, I have a plugin called icons. Wait, I think interface tools. Maybe no. There's another one called material icons. Okay, this I actually bought it by Roblox, but I think there is a demo version. So yeah, let's just go. It contains a lot of like icons, and it all are really good. Like right, for example, this one. Okay, so here I have this great looking thing. Okay, I think I need to go into here maybe, and then here we go. I got it. Okay, and I'll get its ID. And here we go. We got the ID of it, and I can just toggle all this. Well, here we go. Now I'm good. Okay, I can put that there. Roblox as ID, comma, and we need finally the text that's going to be shown, which is, for example, here script plus easy world character inserter and stuff like that. So notes, pretty much. Okay, good. That's really good. So what we have done so far is just we created the toolbar and the notes button. Now let's just make sure that this is working, and what we're going to do is save this as a plugin, as a local plugin. Okay, let's just see our plugins place, right? Let's save this as local plugin, and Yeah, here we go. And let's see. And as you see, here we go. We have tutorial suite and we have this thing. And inside of it, there's our tooltip times some notes. And if we click it, nothing happens because we didn't script that yet. Okay, so inside this button, right? Let's go into the plugin toolbar button thing. And inside it, there is an event called, well, click, I think. I think it's called click. Okay, click. Here we go. Okay, so NotesButton dot click connect function. Now, what's our goal first of all from this is to actually when the user clicks that button, right? The GUI that we designed pops up. Okay, so what we're going to do is NotesButton dot click connect this event to a function like that, and what we need here is to do so first of all I need to indicate for Roblox that the plugin is active right now. For example, if you click it right now, okay, so it's already doing that actually. So anyway, just go to NotesButton dot click, and when it get clicked, and let's do local open equal to false. So if opened, then script.notes.gui, I think. Oh well, before this actually we need a widget GUI that we can display this in. Now this tutorial will take a little bit longer, but yeah, it's okay. So let's make a widget GUI, local widget or plugin widget. Okay, or well, let's go with notes widget because that looks more better. Equal to plugin, and it's a really big name function. I don't really remember it. It's called CreatePluginWidget GUI, I think. Not sure, but it's something like that. Let's just make sure that is okay. Create DockWidgetPlugin, I think. Wait, here it is. Create DockWidgetPlugin GUI. And this actually yields, which means it stops the script from executing until this widget get created, which is good for us. Anyway, create DockWidget GUI. Okay, so it's right, and we need the plugin GUI ID. Now the plugin GUI ID. So this should be something that is unique for this actual plugin. So I'm just going to use this too. Notes, comma. Okay. So yeah, I'll call it notes. Well, maybe I'll call it, for example, or I'll just go with notes anyway. Just not make it too much difficult for now. So DockWidgetPluginGuiInfo. So we don't know what is this, so we'll click on it and we'll know what it needs. So it needs this DockWidgetPluginGuiInfo. So NotesWidgetInfo, which we'll create it right now. Okay, local before it, of course. So local NotesWidgetInfo equal to plugin DockWidgetPluginGuiInfo.new. Okay, and here we go. Now this is the options of the dock widget. Okay, so for example, the Explorer is a dock widget. The properties is dock widget. So anyway, just create one, and here what we need. So we need those for stuff, I think. So you can just go to here, create dock widget plugin, and here we go. You can just copy this, right? So we don't waste much time on this because. So first of all, anyway, let's go with Enum.InitialDockState.Left. Enum. Okay. So Enum, well, initial dockstate dot. So there is some options here. There's button, float, left, right, top. So for example, this is in right. Okay, there's nothing in left, and yeah, something like that. Float is something that is floating, so the widget will float. It won't be docked into any place. So I want it to dock, for example, in the left. So it will display here in the left place. Okay, so and the next thing is those stuff. So this widget will be initially enabled. So do you want, anyway, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this actually because it's something that is not really much of a problem. So let's just go with that. Okay, good. And this is the width, the default width and the default height, the minimum width and the minimum height. Okay, so it's okay with me, at least for now. So yeah, if I open it then, widget will be initially enabled. No, I don't want it to be initially enabled because we want the widget to not display when the plugin gets installed, but when the button of the plugin gets clicked. Okay, so yeah. So if opened, which means we already opened the widget or the plugin or whatever, what you can do is NotesWidget.enabled equal to false. So it won't show. Else, if it's open, if it's not opened actually, then we want to open it. By the way, when you do that, you should do open it equal to true or to false. And here no, and it's actually the same thing. I'm just going to copy this right here and I'll paste it there. And I'll do .enable equal to true and open it equal to true. Pretty much. I think they should work normally, but let's just try. See what's gonna happen. Let's just make sure that we have the output. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to have it here, for example. I doesn't want to dock for some reason, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, I just do the same thing. I'll save as local plugin and I'll override the last plugin. And we have something here. CreateDockWidgetGui is not a valid member of plugin. CreateDockWidgetGui. No, okay, there's something wrong with that. CreateDockWidgetGui. I think CreateDockWidgetPluginGui. I think that should be it, but let's just see. Save as local. And I think it's again. Line 15. Okay, is this new or what? Okay, let's just see. Plugins, notes, and here we go. We get it. Okay, good. Now we get our thing. Okay, as you see, it's here, and it's really good. And so this is the widget that we created. Okay, so as you see, it doesn't even have a title, and it starts off in the left dock as we set to it. It doesn't even have a title at all. Okay, so let's set for a title first of all. So notes widget.title equal, well, title now equal to notes widget or notes. Okay, notes or my notes. That looks much better. Anyway, so next up, instead of showing an empty widget, we need to parent this our GUI into it. Okay, so let's get it. So script.parent, which is the folder here, which is the plugins folder, which is notes plugin, and then .notesGui .parent equal to our notes widget. So we need to parent this. Actually, we don't need that GUI. We just need the frame, pretty much. Let's call this notes widget. Nah, actually notes GUI. Okay, so it's actually the same anyway. I just removed that screen GUI. Equal notes widget, and I think this should be fine. But let's see what's gonna happen. See if it's local plugin, and yes, and let's see what's gonna happen. And here we go. We got our thing, and it's really good. It's really good looking, and I can type anything here now. But if I click this stuff, nothing happens because we didn't scripted those buttons. Okay, so let's just script them. Let's script them up, because why not? Okay. Now this notes GUI, I'm going to store it in its own variable. So notes GUI equal to that, and notes GUI.parent. All right. And before the click event, I'm going to go into, I need to script those stuff. Okay. So local GUI notes GUI toolbar equal to notes GUI dot toolbar, right? And then local zoom notes zoom in button equal to notes GUI toolbar dot zoom in. And I'm just going to copy this and paste it for out. So I'll just do like this, do like this. Okay, good. Now after this, what we're going to do is we need to script those buttons. It says so anyway. So notes zoom in button dot click, I think. Well, button one, no, button one down, or mouse button one down. Okay. So inside every text button. So as you see, this class name is text button, and you can look for it in the wiki, and we can do it right now anyway, just to show you how you can search for it. So Roblox text button API. I don't know why I can't type today, but yeah. Okay. And here we go. The text button have much properties. Oh, rich text. So do they added rich text or just there for future things? But anyway, text fits, text, and there's a lot of stuff right here, which is cool. But we're interested in the events, because the events that tells us that something happened, like the button got clicked. Okay, so events, there is activated, there is mouse button, one click, one down, one up. So I'll go with one click, mouse button, one click, connect function. Okay, good. No zoom in button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get that text box. So I need to store a variable for it actually. Notes text box equal to notes gui dot zoom in. No, what I'm doing, text box dot text box. Okay, good. So here inside, when someone clicks that zoom in button, what we're going to do is notes gui notes text box dot font equal to that. Well, is it called font? No, I don't think so. Well, let's go into the toolbox and let's go to the properties, and so it's called, well, text size. Okay, it's called text size. I might dump, but yeah. Anyway, text size. So I'm going to do this. Notes text box dot text size equal to that plus something like, for example, I think 4 should be fine. But let's see. And I'm going to do actually the same thing for the out button. Okay, I think this should be fine. Okay, so note zoom out button instead, and here instead of plus I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to go with minus. Okay, I'm just going to save this. For example, notes or tutorial suit plugin, right? And I'm just going to save this as local plugin and let's see if this works or not. And here we have it. And as you see, when I click this, this happens. So, which means it's working just fine. But hey, there is something crazy there. We can actually zoom in and zoom out without any limit at all. Now let's see the output actually, and let's just see if it gives me any. So it doesn't really give us any problem, but it just looks weird though. It just looks really weird. And there's another problem, which the text just get overflown into there. We can easily fix this just by going into the text box itself, and inside it there is a property called multiline. Okay, so you just check that multiline and it should be fine. So, well, that's a fancy sentence. So just text, well, what it's called? Just check that multiline and you should be fine. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, well, this still doesn't work for some reason. Okay, well, oh, I think maybe we have another property that we should check. Well, let's see. Also, we don't want to clear text on focus. So as you see, if I click again, then it will clear all my text. Oh shit, no. So I'll just disable that. So what we have else? There's text editable. Of course, we want to edit the text. And here inside, so there's something called text wrap, and I think that's all we need there. I'm just going to do this, save this local plugin again, and of course save the folder, not the script, nothing else, just the folder itself. And now, and as you see, it works like charm right now, and I can go infinity right there. Oh man, that's really good. Okay, so I think that's the finish of this, or should we call it final this video? I'm not sure. Or the end. Well, the end of this video. Please like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it, and subscribe, please. Okay. Anyway, so this is our script. This is the script that we created right here. So that was it, and also our GUI is really responsive. and I need to charge my PC already. Anyway, and we can just control this as we want. We can also just, for example, copy the script, right, and then paste it here, and here we go. But well, okay, here. Okay, there's something here which is we can't actually go and just maybe see what's going on down there, unless if you just use this. Wow, but not sure about that. I think we need to make our own text box, or there is some property right there that can fix this. I mean, you can also go with text scaled. Okay, you can add another one, which is text scaled. But yeah, I'll just leave this for another video. Okay, so before actually finishing this video, please leave me some suggestions for future tutorials. And do you think we can add something to this to make it even more better? I mean, there's a lot to add, but the video is already in 1 hour, kind of. It's like 15 minutes, and it's already so bad. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave you for now, and goodbye for now.